Aloha. Thank you for coming, everyone who's on here live. We meet here every Wednesday to spread the word about some solutions that we have. And thanks so much for watching the replay, as of course everybody's time is seems to be really super stretched to the max lately. Um, so I Sorry, I need to change something there. There we go. Yeah, like I said, we come here and we talk about a couple different solutions that we have for a lot of people. The solution that is of the most importance is a health solution, something that can help you feel more comfortable, more alive, less in pain, that sort of a thing. And for a lot of people right now, there's a really strong need for a financial solution to come in and sort of change the picture that you're dealing with. And both of those things are something that we can all certainly relate to. My name is Jennifer Alice Murray. I live out on the gorgeous, beautiful island of Kauai, Hawaii. And I wasn't born here. I was raised in Massachusetts, and I was in San Francisco for about 5 years before I came out here. I had a clothing company there that I loved. My sister was living out here. She was having her second child, and she also had a vegan restaurant that she was running. So I came out here to help her out and just dove into everything: the ocean, the business, the family, the lifestyle. Just didn't want to leave. Loved the feeling of being able to escape all the stresses of life by diving into nature and being outside and breathing fresh air and having access to clean water. It was just like an amazing time in life. And a lot of other things happened that I never would have expected, of course. Having been in the wellness industry at this point for about 20 years, I was, you get to the point, and I don't know if you have your own health struggles. I had the great misfortune of suffering from migraine headaches from the time I was a very young child, and as a teenager, and through college and things like that, just really trying to figure out how to make a life work when part of the time your brain and your nervous system are just completely shut down and you're in agonizing pain and you have to shelter away from the world. And it's something that most people, especially a couple decades ago, couldn't understand as much. Migraines, of course, are one of the big problems that's on the rise in our society, along with a lot of other stress-related illnesses. And so more and more people can relate to these things, but for me it was a headache. It was a hassle. It was hard to build a stable working life when you're suffering that much. And so being self-employed became more and more important as I got older. And when my friend came along, I was 38 years old. We're looking at 3 decades so far of these sickening migraines, and she had something that she believed could help me. And she was a good friend of mine that I was always sort of shooting around entrepreneurial ideas with, business ideas with. So having these two things kind of come together in one package was a little funny. And I also just, I had tried so many things over the years, so many remedies, so many diets, so many cures, so many things. You try what you can to get rid of the pain that you're suffering from. And so I was incredibly, I cautioned her to be realistic, that something like an innocent little gentle herbal supplement in a little blue bottle was not going to be, the magical thing that took away all these years of pain. And I was really resistant to trying it because I felt her expectations were so high. But eventually she wore me down, and I tried it out after a few months of hearing about it. And I started to notice, honestly, within a month, other changes happening in my body. I did notice a decrease in the migraines, but I didn't trust it. I didn't believe that was going to be a lasting change. But I was curious enough about the different energy I was feeling in my body, a little more awake, a little less tired during the day, and some back pain that I had been suffering with for years, since the restaurant days had gone away. And I was starting to think, what is going on with this simple, gentle little herbal supplement that I decided to take? And so I had to jump in. I had to research. I had to, figure out like why other things hadn't worked and this had. It just was sort of teasing my brain. And I'm going to skip over a lot of science. It's been not over 9 years since that day, and the amount of things that I have learned about the human body are pretty extraordinary. But I don't want to drop too many big words and concepts on you at once. But I am going to give you one big word that you likely have never heard before, which is nutrigenomics. This supplement, Protandim, is in a category that it created called nutrigenomics. So we use nutrition to bring relief to the genetic code. We are literally nourishing our genetics with this simple, gentle herbal formula. And that's a huge concept. That gets us out of a lot of boxes, right? That gets us out of the waiting for something to go wrong box, for example. A lot of us feel as if some disease, something runs in our family, something maybe you started to pick up on that you have some signs of, is like a fate, that it's like written in stone. And what really scientists have been studying and realizing for a good 30 years now, is that that's not the case. These things are not written in stone. That our genetics, though they are a blueprint, they are a quiet blueprint. They sit there and they're like a library. Our genes are basically a library of codes. But what unlocks those codes is the environment that those genes are in, the condition of our body. What we put into our body and what our bodies are subjected to on a day-to-day basis, that is what determines what directions our genes go in. A stressed out, undernourished body starts unlocking some really dark codes. A healthy, vibrant body that's being exposed to nutrients and hopefully less stresses, etc., is more at peace, is not as worn down and stressed out. The level of stress that your body is under is very, very important. It's just as important as the amount of stress that your mind is under. So here we are with this, this supplement. What we tend to call it in this business is activation.
Did we lose her, or is it just me?
It looks like we've lost her.
If everyone just has a little patience, I bet you she'll jump right back on in a second.
Yes.
While you're waiting, you could write down a couple of things. You could write down pubmed.gov, which is somewhere you should go to look up different issues that you have coming at you. Another thing you could write down is abcnewsreport.com, which is somewhere else that you can see the ABC News report that was put out about LifeVantage. Just some great places to kind of do research and just see what's out there. So hopefully Jennifer will jump on in a second. We'll see what happens. But thank you everybody for your patience. And there she is! Yay! We got them. they now have PubMed.gov and ABC News Report written down as some homework while they wait.
I love it. You guys never lost contact, huh? It just all went away for me. Okay, great. Scientifically backed products that we're working with here. Yeah, we are obsessed with science, let me tell you. It's like it's a never-ending pool of studies just piling into PubMed about, like I said, when you give your body what it needs to operate, it's like it's not a miracle pill. It's a miracle body. It's designed to heal itself and function in an optimal way, and we go around damaging it as life is just a little bit damaging on its own. And so once upon a time when the company, this product used to be sold on retail shelves, and this is a very difficult story for a bottle sitting on a shelf to tell. Like, how do you go to the store and separate this bottle from any other bottle on the shelf when there's no other nutrigenomic product, when there's nothing on the shelf that matches this story? It was a weird sell. It was a hard thing to do. And from right out of the gate, this was a publicly traded company. So this is on the NASDAQ. This is, something people can buy stock in. So that was very important to the scientists that developed the formula, because this is a way to protect the formula. This is a way to make sure that the company remains credible and reliable. He was at the end of his career when he made this discovery and retired shortly after. And being, if you're on the NASDAQ, your infrastructure is constantly audited, and your money is looked at constantly. Like, you can't get away with anything, basically, if you're on the NASDAQ. And, they quickly realized that they needed to seek help, and they needed to hire a new CEO. And that CEO said, you need to do this network marketing, because people have to tell each other this story, not just the story of their, testimonials of using the product, but tell each other the story. The nutrigenomic story is something that really hasn't been heard of. And for me, I can say that decades of pain was, I always felt like I need to find a natural way out of pain, and then I need to help other people find that way out as well. Because suffering in pain is just something, it's just, it decreases your quality of life to such a substantial degree. And if you have not experienced that, great. But I think everybody, if you try to imagine what your life's going to feel like when you're 80 or 85 or 90 or 95, everybody kind of feels like maybe they don't want to think about that. Maybe they don't want to look too far into the future, because maybe that's not going to be a comfortable time. But with advancements like this that are natural and, so non-toxic, etc., compared to pharmaceuticals, we're looking at the ability to seriously give ourselves not just a longer life, but a healthier, longer life. And for me, that was something worth talking about. And so, I jumped in with both feet into this business. Let me tell you, after owning a clothing company, after owning a restaurant, I've written 3 cookbooks that are all on Amazon. The difference between this business and every other form of small business that I have encountered is the overwhelming simplicity of this business. I do not do quality control. I am not shipping and ordering ingredients, and all I do is tell people my story, tell the story of the product, tell the story. All I do is talk about it. It's the only thing I'm required to do. 2022 was a very difficult year for me in my life. I needed to step back from my work, and I was no good to anybody for months and months. I didn't work, essentially. And this paycheck came month after month after month. And instead of going down, 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 because let me tell you, if you didn't go to your restaurant for 6 months, You wouldn't even want to see what was going on when you got back. LifeVantage went ahead this year and launched new products, one of which is just out there slaying it and killing it, and I didn't have anything to do with it. I didn't invent it. I didn't process it. I didn't test it. I didn't do any of those things. But I know that the company did. I know they're super trustworthy. They put out therapeutic level natural products so that you can count on that. Every single bottle is the exact same as every other bottle. There is no discrepancy. These people are obsessed with quality, and my sales went up. My income went up while I was healing from trauma. I just literally cannot think of another business where you'd be able to say something like that. This industry is getting more and more traction, more and more credibility, as the years go by, and technology just makes it so much easier to do this business. I highly recommend, if you are seeking or needing some kind of solution like that in your life, that you take it slow if you need to take it slow, but step toward it and step toward us and check it out more and more, because it's viable, and for some of us it's really, really very real. And certainly I hope you've heard enough about the product to give it a try. There's simply just nothing like giving it a try. The one that I was mostly talking about is our NRF2 product, but you can get with the person who invited you to this, and they can, talk to you about other things that we offer. The line has been extended from, your skin health, your gut health, your brain health. We're tackling the major elements of a healthy life, right? A healthy heart, a healthy brain, a healthy gut are, what's going to carry you into old age in a healthy and happy way. That is the main focus of our company, but also this organ that we're all carrying around on the outside, our epidermis, our skin, also something we all love to see being vibrant and healthy and taken care of as well, and is also experiencing the most amount of stress compared to most of the other organs. So we're taking care of your skin and your heart and your brain and your overall health and keeping you younger longer. I am going to turn 48 years old in 2 weeks, and I can honestly say I do not think that the picture of health that I am today, 7 years migraine free, 7 years without one migraine headache in this coming December, is what we get for diving in and checking out activation and nutrigenomics. And thank you for coming. Sorry for the tech difficulty there, and happy to answer questions or stay on the line if anybody needs me.